Hello YouTube, how's it going? My name is Legion Bricks, and today I'm going to be showcasing my Hammerhead Corvette custom build. I've messed that up a couple of times now, but getting right into it, I built a stand for this build. It's not quite a mock in the same vein as my other builds, but this is the stand for it. It is quite flimsy, as the build is a little bit. It's mainly built, if I can set that down, mainly built of these 2x2 bricks. There are a lot of them, more being on the front column as it's shorter than the other side, but I don't know exactly how many bricks there are. You can probably count them out, but it's also made up of these tiles and bricks to support the bottom of it, and a few curved sloped bricks, I think 1x6 sloped bricks. But putting that down, the camera will be a little shakier this time around. I've done the measurements of how long this custom build is, and it is approximately 18 inches long. So it's pretty long. Not the biggest or longest set in the world, definitely not as long as the Tantive 4 that was released in 2019. But yeah, it is pretty sturdy. You can see it's a little bit, it can stand up on itself by itself, which I think, which is something I was trying to get done, and I think it actually worked out pretty well. But the size or the height of the actual head of it, I can move it over just a little bit. It's approximately 10 inches tall, so it's pretty tall as well. So gotta find a place to put this thing in where it's not bumping into anything else. But yeah, and there's a few panels that really like to come off when you hit them the wrong way. That's something that I really want to improve on this model. That fell off as well. I'd like to come back and revisit this model eventually, but moving on, there is turrets on each side right there. That panel likes to come off as well. It's held in and also likes to come apart, but this is held together by a few bricks that are kind of like inverted, where their anti-studs are both coming together. You can see that little gap on the orange and gray spot, but moving around you can also see that other turret on the other side. It moves around, it can move outwards, and it can move up and down. So it's got a little bit of mobility. That is still popping off. Alright, there we go. And moving on through that to the neck of the ship, this is actually where the escape pods of the ship are located. So, and these also are just part of the kind of scoping down area. This is just a kind of middle of the ship area where the quarters and stuff like that are. Just a little gapping. I had to use a brown or dark brown 8x8 dish as opposed to a white one, just because I don't have one, unfortunately, in white, which would really have been nice to have had one in white. It would have made it look a little bit more together, but I just had to work with what I had. It was unfortunate, but I just kind of had to go with it. I think it gets the job done well. It would have been better in white, though. And moving on from that, we have the 4 engines, 3 on the top and 1 at the very bottom. And on the back you can see that detailing where it all wraps up at the end very nicely. And coming back around, that still really likes to pop off. There are a lot of panels on here that I really need to, I'm hoping on going through this one day and getting through and maybe making a Bricklink order sometime soon, coming through and revisiting this mock, but that is actually connected by a mixel joint. If you can see, I'm not sure if you could really tell, and that's just hinged together. But it works. This isn't a play model in any means. This is not anywhere scaled with the new Tantive or anything, but here's a bottom look at the ship. You can see the underside of plates a little bit. The engine is crooked. It falls off just a little bit. But yeah, there's not much else to say that I can really think about. I'll just give you a couple different views of the ship. Bringing it up, it's just so big. Or bigger from what I've reviewed in the past. Just give a little bit more of a full view of that. I think it looks pretty sweet. I think that the back part of it could be a little bit more cleaned up. It does look a tiny bit studdy, but I think the front and the back, flipping it over, you can see how it actually does when you mess around with the gravity of it. But I think it could be a little bit better and be improved on in the future. Just trying to get it to balance now, because it can stand by itself. It just, yeah, you gotta give it a little bit of time and use that stand once again. And when you're putting this on, when I'm putting this on the stand, if you can tell, it actually clicks in right here on the front of that 2x3 plate, and then it just holds on. It doesn't click onto anything in the back, it just holds on with gravity. So I think it works out pretty well. The stand is a little flimsy. I do get a little bit of a heart attack if I bump it, which I have bumped it before. But there's a little gapping right there. I would like to come back and revisit one day, and you'll see a little bit more gapping throughout the rest of the ship. But those panels, of course, don't like to stay on. But there's not much else that I can think of to say about this mod, other than that the stand is kind of flimsy, once again. But, yeah, there's more gapping over here. Just some stuff that I'd like to revisit one day. I think this is a really cool mod. It's based on the Rogue One version, if I haven't said this already, which I probably should have. It's based on the Rogue One appearance of it with the orange and white markings on it. And I can't think of much else to say about it. So if you like the video, definitely give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think about this. I'm definitely going to be doing some more Clone Wars building in the future, or in the next few days. So OT stuff is on a hold. I just had to get this little review out. So definitely stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's really all I can think of. Just give you a few more looks at the set, or the custom build. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!